I find his lack of balance disturbing.
It's all that data, bro. With SLT mega deals, he's got double data for the next 2 months.
Making headlines on First at 9. A new alliance? Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says work in progress to register National Democratic Front, a broader coalition of the UNF. Take leadership. President Maithripala Sirisena calls for political leadership to strengthen peace and reconciliation in the country. Commending efforts. The European Union, Norway, United States and Australia welcomes resolution of Sri Lanka's political crisis while pledging renewed support. Budget preparation. Former State Finance Minister Derana Wickremaratne says plans are afoot to bring interim budget shortly, as Cabinet expected within 48 hours.
So by February, we will also would have passed the budget, so the country will be able to function smoothly.
Will not contest. Tilanga Sumitipala rules out contesting upcoming Sri Lanka cricket elections. Philippines! Miss Universe 2018. Catriona Gray from Philippines claims crown.
බයික් එකක් ගත්තොත් ෆෝන් එකක්. ඔව්, තෝරාගත් Yamaha බයික් මාදිලි සඳහා රුපියල් 40000ක් දක්වා වටිනා ස්මාර්ට් ෆෝන් එකක් නොමිලේ. ඉක්මන් කරන්න නොවැම්බර් 30 දක්වා පමණයි. කොන්දේසි සහිතයි. අමතන්න 0117 699 699 AMW තින් පමණයි.
A very good evening and welcome to First at 9, another Derana 24/7 Sri Lanka's news channel. I'm Katharina Chang. On to your top story tonight. The leader of the United National Party, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, says that a broader political force named the National Democratic Front will be established in the near future, adding that it will be registered as a brand new political party soon. The Prime Minister made these remarks addressing the UMP rally themed Victory of Justice at Golfers Green today.
The Victory of Justice rally organised by the United National Party was held at the Golfers Green today. The rally commenced around 3 p.m. with the participation of many parliamentarians, including leaders of several other parties of the United National Front.
අපිට කොටි ලේබල් එක ගන්න හදනවා. සම්බන්ධන අපි එක්ක ඉන්නවා. දැන් කියනවා LTT කාර්යෝ අපි එක්ක ඉන්නවා. TN එකේ ඉන්න අර විලේන්දන් මන්ත්‍රීතුමාව ගත්තා. එතුමාව ගන්නකොට එතුමා කොටි නෙමෙයි.
අනිවාර්යෙන් මාස 12කින් ජාතික මැතිවරණයක් එනවා. ඒ ජාතික මැතිවරණය අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ නායකයෙක් කියන එක තමුන්නාන්සලාට පැහැදිලිව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Leader of the UNP, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, was warmly welcomed by the people as he joined the rally.
රාජපක්ෂලා කියනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ව පෙරද්දුවේ විදේශ කුමන්ත්‍රණයකින්ලු. ඒගොල්ලෝ පෙරදුනේ CIA එකටලු. ඒගොල්ලෝ පෙරදුනේ බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය ඔත්තු සේවයටලු. මහින්ද මහත්තයෝ ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න ගෝල් බේස් එකට. ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්න ජනගඟ තමුන්නාසව පෙරද්දුවේ මේ රටේ ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජනතාවයි කියන එක අපි මතක තබා ගත යුතුයි.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂේ වුණත් අපේත් වැරදි වෙලා තිබෙනවා. මේ අය කියන්න පටන් ගත්තා අපේ කාලේ මේ රට විකුණන්න හැදුවයි කියලා. අනේ බොලේ ඔය සංගරිලා හෝටලේ තියෙනවා. මේක කවුද මං වික්කේ? රාජපක්ෂලා නොවේද? අන්න අතන පෝත් සිටිය තිබ්බා. මේක සින්නක්කරේ යාට විකුණන්න හැදුවා. ඒක නැවතුවේ කවුද? රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ සහ එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණ කියන එක මතක් කරන්න කැමතියි. අපි මීට පෙර කරපු ඒවා ප්‍රමාද වුණා නම් ඒක අපට සමාජ භාජනය වෙලා මේ අවුරුදු එකමාර තුල සියලුම පොරොන්දු ඉෂ්ට කරනවා කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ මතක් කරන්න කැමතියි.
මමත් ඊටාත්ම ආඩම්බර වෙනවා සතුටු වෙනවා. මේ ගමනේ ජයග්‍රාහී පියවරවල අවසන් පුරුකේ මට සිද්ධ වුණා මුළු රටේම ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාගේ නම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ යෝජනා කරන්න. ඒ යෝජනාව කරනකොට මගේ හිතේ කිසිම සැකසංකාවක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඇයි ඔය 10 වතාවක් මට දෙන්න හදපු දෙයනේ මං අපෝ එපයි කියලා කිව්වේ. මගේ හිතේ කිසිම චකිතයක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. මම මගේ පියාණන්ව පාවලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මගේ මව පාවලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම තනතුරකට ගියොත් යන්නේ තමුන්නාන්සලාගේ කරපිටින් කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
මේක තමයි ජනබලය. මේ බලය කාටවත් පරාජය කරන්න බෑ. ඓතිහාසික දවස් 51ක ඔබ තමයි මගේ ශක්තිය උනේ. පොට්ටුවේ අයත් අපිත් ඔක්කොම ඡන්දෙ දුන්නා 19 වෙනි සංසෝධයට. එතන සුද්ධ සිංහලෙන් තියෙනවා අවුරුදු 4මාරක් තුර පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරවා අරින්න පුළුවන් 3න් 2ක ඡන්දයක් තියෙනවා නම් විතරයි කියලා. ඉතින් ඕක නෑ කියලා කියන්න මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නිශ්චිත කාල පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 2010 පනත කියවනවා නම් ඒකෙන් තමයි මේක ගත්තේ අපි. මම එකක් කියන්න කැමතියි. අපි හැම පක්ෂයෙන්ම අහන්න යනවා කොයි කාලෙද මැතිවරණ තියන්න ඕන කියලා. අපි එක්කෙන 3න් 2ක් නෑ. අපි එකතු වෙලා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. මම එකක් කියන්න කැමති එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණ වෙනුවෙන්. අපිට මේ රටේ සංහිඳියාව වුමනයි. අපිට මේ රටේ දේශපාලන විසඳුමක් වුමනයි. අපි ඒක ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ ඒකීය රාජ්‍යයක් පදනම් කරගෙන කියලා. අපිට තව ප්‍රධාන ඡන්ද දෙකක් තියෙනවා මූණ දෙන්න. ජනාධිපතිවරණයි පාර්ලිමේන්තු ඡන්දය. පාර්ලිමේන්තු ඡන්දෙදී අපිට 3න් 2ක සංඛ්‍යාවක් ලබලා දෙන්න කියලා මං ඉල්ලනවා. මොකද අපි තනියම ඉඳලා තමයි විධායක ජනාධිපතිකම අවශ්‍ය කරන්න කියලා මම කියනවා. අපි තරඟ කරේ එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණ හැටියට දැන් අපි අලුත් සංධානයක් දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් හැටියට ලියාපදිංචි කරනවා. ඒ තමයි ජාතික ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී පෙරමුණ. අපේ නීතිඥ මහත්වරු අන්තිම මේක සකස් කරනවා. සිකුරාදා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය රැස් වුණාම මම ඒ යෝජනාව අපේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. මම කිසිම සැකයක් නැහැ. අපේ අය ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙයි කියලා.
The European Union today welcomed the peaceful and democratic resolution of the political crisis in Sri Lanka. The delegation of the European Union in Sri Lanka, issuing a statement in agreement with the EU ambassadors and the Norwegian ambassador resident in Colombo, commended the island's nation's democratic institutions for their resilience. Issuing a communique today following the reinstatement of leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe as Prime Minister, the European Union and Norway welcomed the peaceful and democratic resolution of Sri Lanka's political crisis in accordance with the constitution. The joint statement read, quote, "As steady friends of Sri Lanka, we commend the resilience of Sri Lanka's democratic institutions and will continue to support its efforts toward national reconciliation and prosperity for all," unquote. Meanwhile, taking to Twitter late last night, US Ambassador Lena B. Teplitz said the United States welcomed the weekend's political developments, which upheld Sri Lanka's democratic and constitutional norms. Teplitz added that the United States look forward to continuing to develop the country's relationship with the government and the citizens of Sri Lanka. Australia too commented on Sri Lanka's current political situation. Issuing a communique today, the Australian High Commission stated, quote, "As a long-standing friend and Indian Ocean neighbour, Australia welcomes the resolution of political uncertainty in Sri Lanka by constitutional means and demonstrated resilience of Sri Lanka's democratic institutions," unquote. The High Commission went on to say that Australia looks forward to build a stronger bilateral relationship and take forward its commitment to deliver peace, reconciliation and prosperity in Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna, Professor G.L. Peiris, claims that the United National Front, in establishing a minority government, has accepted a set of conditions that were refused by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Professor Peiris expressed these views in Anuradhapura yesterday.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Professor G.L. Peiris, called on the chief incumbent of the Mirisavati temple in Anuradhapura, Venerable Ethal Vatunuvave Panyananda Thera, yesterday.
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා පත් වුණාට පස්සේ අපි දැක්කා පිට රටවල් වල බොහෝ රටවල් වල තානාපතිවරු තමන්ගේ කටින් මුවෙන් ලිඛිතව ප්‍රකාශ කළා අපි ආධාර දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. එහෙනම් කවුරු රවට්ටන්නද මේ ආධාර දීලා තියෙන්නේ? කව ද්වේෂයෙන් වෛරයෙන් නෙවෙයි දෙන්න ඕනේ සත්භාවයේ හෘද සාක්ෂියෙන් දුන්නා නම් මේ අහිංසක මිනිසුන්ගේ ජීවිත ගොඩනගන්නයි අපි ආධාර දුන්නේ කියලා මේ මිනිස්සු ප්‍රායෝගික වෙනවා නම් ඕව නවත්තන්නේ නැහැ. වෙන වෙන අරමුණු වලට ආධාර දුන් බවයි ව්‍යංගයෙන් හෝ ප්‍රායෝගිකව අවබෝධ වෙන්නේ අපිට.
ආණ්ඩුව ගෙනියන්නේ දමිළ සන්ධානයේ පිහිටෙන්. එතකොට අද තීරණාත්මක සාධකය වන්නේ වෙන කිසිවක් නෙමෙයි දමිළ සන්ධානය. දමිළ සන්ධානයේ සභාපති ආර් සම්බන්ධෙන් මැතිතුමා සාකච්ඡාවක් පැවැත්වුවා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා සමග. මේ කොන්දේසිම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට ඉදිරිපත් කළා. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා කිව්වා නෑ මම මේවා පිළිගන්නේ නෑ. බලය ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා මම රට පාවා දීමට සූදානම් නැහැ. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරපු කොන්දේසි තමයි එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණ පිළි අරන් දමිළ සන්ධානයේ සහයෝගය ලබාගෙන මේ සුළුතර රජයක් පිහිටුවීමට කටයුතු කළේ.
Leader of the Pivituru Helurumaya parliamentarian Udaya Gammanpila meanwhile accuses the UMP for attempting to increase the number of cabinet ministers with the support of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress. Speaking to media in Colombo today, Gammanpila said the attempt is being carried out under the blind force of a minority government.
The UNP is now in crisis. Several seniors were promised with cabinet portfolios to avoid their crossovers. The deputy and state ministers who contribute a lot during the crisis are of the opinion that they should be awarded with cabinet portfolios. On the other hand, the UMP wants to show the country that it is not a TNA dependent government. For that purpose, they want to offer several cabinet portfolios to the UPFA members. For all these different requirements, they have only 28 vacancies. Therefore, they are now in an attempt to form a national government with the solitary member of the SLMC, namely Alizair Maulana. This is a rumour. However, in terms of Article 46(5) of the Constitution, there should be 3 political parties to form a national government. There is no point of petitioning to Supreme Court about this because when the previous national government was challenged, the Supreme Court refused to intervene, claiming it's a legislative process and no right or capacity to intervene with the legislative process. We urge the President to not to appoint ministers beyond 28 ministers, since it's a gross violation of the Constitution, but also the election pledges given by the UMP during the previous elections.
Leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Anura Kumar Ditsanayake, reminds the public that a general election is expected in mid-next year and that the opportunity should be used to bring about change in the country. The JVP leader made this remark addressing a seminar organised by the Association of National Professionals in Gampaha yesterday.
අත දේශපාලන අතිශය ලාභ ලබන ව්‍යාපාරයක් පොලිසියෙන් කසිප්පු අල්ලනවා බාර් එකක අල්ලන්නේ. එයි බාර් එකට ලයිසන් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ තමයි ජනාධිපතිකම කියන්නේ හොරකම් කරන්න ලයිසන් එකක්. අගමැති ධූරය කියන්නේ ලයිසන් එකක් හොරකම් කරන්න. බැඳුම් කරේ රණලි සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඇමති ධූර කියලා කියන්නේ හොරකම් කරන්න ලයිසන් එකක්. ඒ නිසා අපේ රට ගොඩනගන්න ප්‍රතිපත්ති කවරක් තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ. ව්‍යාපාරයක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන දේශපාලනය මහජන සේවයක් බවට පරිවර්තනය කළ යුතුයි. ඒ මිනිස්සු හැම කෙනාම කියන්නේ දැන් නම් හරියන්නේ වෙනසක් ඕන. හැබැයි වෙනසක් ඕන කියන අයට වෙනස මොකක්ද කියලා අපි කියලා දෙන්න අසමත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. අන්න ඒ වෙනස අපි නිර්මාණය කරන්න ඕන. ලබන අවුරුද්දේ මැද භාගය වෙනකොට පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණ
President Maithripala Sirisena says that politicians should take the leadership and work together in order to ensure development to the north and east of Sri Lanka. He further noted that Christmas is an important occasion and should be utilized as a season to strengthen peace and reconciliation among communities. He made these remarks addressing the State Christmas Festival 2018 held at Manna Urban Council ground yesterday. The State Christmas Festival 2018 was held yesterday under the theme Birth of the Lord's Splendor, Christmas, with the aim of promoting reconciliation between communities in Manna. The festival was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. Apostolic Nuncio in Sri Lanka, Archbishop P.N. Nguyen Vantot, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Sri Lanka, Most Reverend Dr. Winston S. Fernando, Bishop of Manna, Most Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Fernando, Northern Province Governor Reginald Correa, and Catholic devotees participated.
උතුරු නැගෙනහිර යුදය පැවති ප්‍රදේශ වශයෙන් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් සංවර්ධනයේ ප්‍රමුඛතාවයක් දී අපි රජයේ විදියට කටයුතු කරන්නේ. ඒ තනියම කිසිවෙකුට කළ හැකි දෙයක් නොවේ. දේශපාලනඥයින් නායකත්වයේ ගත යුතුයි. රාජ්‍ය නිලධාරීන් එහි වගකීම් සහ යුතුකම් ඉටු කළ යුතුයි. සියල්ල සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ සාමූහිකත්වයේ තුලයි. ඒ නිසා වෙන්වීම කිසිසේත්ම සුබවාදී දෙයක් නොවේ. අපේ රටේ සාමය සහ සංහිඳියාව සඳහා කිතුරු දර්ශන ඉතාමත් වැදගත්. ජනගහනයේ ප්‍රතිශතයක් ලෙස නැත්නම් 100ට ගණනක් වශයෙන් ඒ අඩු සංඛ්‍යාවක් දැක්වුවත් විශේෂයෙන්ම යේසුස් සමිදානන් දේශනා කළ උතුම් දේශනය අනුව ආධ්‍යාත්මික සමාජයක් ගොඩනැගීමට ක්‍රිස්තු ධර්මයේ තුල තිබෙන්නේ ඊ타මාත්ම විශිෂ්ට වූ ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ වූ පසුබිමක් අපේ රටේ.
With that, we cross over to a short commercial break.
You are
Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
Welcome back to the news. UMP MP and former State Minister of Finance Eran Wickramaratne says that following the appointment of a new cabinet, a full-year budget will be presented to Parliament in January with the expectation of passing it in February next year. Speaking to First at 9, Eran Wickramaratne highlighted that the cost of the recent political crisis will have to be taken into account when making changes to the document.
Once the ministries are known, we will be presenting a vote on account. The vote on account, hopefully we can present it and debate it before Christmas. We will have to talk with the party leaders and we will have to get the agreement on whether we can do this with a 1-day or 2-day debate. Once a vote on account has been passed, payment for education, health and other social services will go uninterrupted from 1st January. Public servants will receive all their dues and payments and salaries without any interruption. And then we will be gazetting the appropriation bill. We have to do it again because Parliament was prorogued in the previous period. After 14 days, working days, the Finance Minister will present the budget in Parliament. So that will be towards the end of January. And the parliamentary debate will take 26 days. That's according to standing orders. So by February, we will also would have passed the budget. So the country will be able to function smoothly. So certainly some amendments will have to be done to the budget because the cost of the coup will now have to be calculated into the budget.
The former minister also went on to comment on the expectations of a new cabinet.
We expect that the discussion would happen between the Prime Minister and the President, where the Prime Minister will propose the names of his cabinet and then the President and the Prime Minister will agree. So we are expecting those appointments to happen within 48 hours a day or two because that's the quickest way to get the country moving.
Malaysia has filed criminal charges against Goldman Sachs and 2 former employees in connection with the corruption and money laundering probe at the country's investment fund 1MDB. The US bank has been under scrutiny for its role in helping to raise funds for One Malaysia Development Berhad. It is being investigated in at least 6 countries. Goldman Sachs called the charges misdirected and said it would vigorously defend them, adding that the firm continued to cooperate with all authorities investigating these matters. Malaysia's Attorney General Thomas said in a statement, quote, "The charges arise from the proceeds of 3 bonds issued by the subsidiaries of 1MDB which were arranged and underwritten by Goldman Sachs," unquote. The Osha Price Index edged up as a result of price gains in counters such as Ceylon Tobacco Company, Carson Cumberbatch and Dialog Axiata with the turnover crossing 133 million rupees. Meanwhile, the S&P SL 20 closed in red while foreigners closed as net sellers, mainly due to foreign selling in John Keel's holdings. Let's take a look at the brief report on market performance.
In the secondary market, yield curve remained mostly unchanged with moderate volumes amidst limited activities witnessed in the market. The yield of short-term maturity 15-12-21 traded between 1175-1180 levels, while mid-term maturities 15-10-25 and 18-26 change hands at 1190 and 12-10 levels respectively. In the equity market, both ended in green for the 4th consecutive sessions on the gain made by Ceylon Tobacco and Carson's. Turnover recorded a 3-month low, while the volumes improved compared to the previous day. A net foreign outflow was witnessed amidst low foreign participation.
Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan rupee ended steady today, although it strengthened in early trade, while bond yields dropped as investors took a cautious stance to observe the current political developments. The rupee, which traded slightly firmer in early trade, ended steady at 179 rupees and 90 cents to 180 rupees per dollar today. Let's now take a look at the day's forex rates. Maldivian police say former President Abdullah Yameen is under investigation for corruption after court-ordered accounts holding $6.5 million to be frozen. Yameen, who was defeated in a September election, was interrogated by police on the Honeymoon Islands on Saturday. He has been dogged by allegations that he received close to $1.5 million in illicit payments during his failed bid for re-election in the Indian Ocean Archipelago nation. According to local media reports, the country's monetary authority has lodged a police complaint about the alleged donations made into a private account held by Yameen in two suspicious tranches. The former strongman president has denied the allegations. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that India will give financial assistance of $1.4 billion to the Maldives, the biggest aid yet to the Indian Ocean island nation that is grappling with debt. Modi made the announcement today after talks with the Maldives' new president, Muhammad Ibrahim Soli, who defeated the pro-China strongman Abdullah Yameen in a surprise election result in October and is trying to reset ties with India. During a 5-year construction boom in the Maldives, China built a sea bridge connecting the capital Malé to the main airport and is developing the airport itself as well as building housing on land reclaimed from the sea. But the fast-paced building activity has stoked fears that the Maldives has loaded up on debt that could be anything from $1.5 billion to more than $3 billion. British Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to urge parliamentarians not to break faith with the British people by demanding a second referendum as she faces intense pressure to give Parliament a say on Brexit before Christmas. May will make a statement to MPs on last week's European Council summit in Brussels, from which she returned with little evidence of progress in securing legal reassurances on the Irish backstop.
British Prime Minister Theresa May will use her appearance at the dispatch box to strongly reject the idea of a second referendum after Downing Street was forced to deny reports yesterday that some of her key aides were secretly considering the idea. Her message is aimed partly at Conservative MPs and some ministers who have become increasingly convinced that a referendum is the only way out of the impasse at Westminster after the Prime Minister abruptly pulled plans for a vote on her deal last week. Former Prime Minister John Major and Tony Blair are among those urging a new referendum if British parliamentarians cannot agree on a way forward. British Trade Minister Liam Fox meanwhile said yesterday that a second referendum would perpetuate the deep divisions in Britain.
People say this will heal the division in the country. This will not heal the division in the country. It perpetuates the division in the country. We have to deliver Brexit and we have to stay in office to prevent Britain being subjected to the absolutely awful and horrendous possibility of a hard left Corbyn government.
We have sports news on the other side. Stay tuned.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Former President of Sri Lanka Cricket, Tilanga Sumitipala, today announced that he will not contest the upcoming Sri Lanka cricket elections. He made his statement at a media briefing held at the SLC headquarters today.
කාලය තුල මට දිනනවා මගේ දේශපාලන ගමනත් එක්ක මේ රට වෙනුවෙන් ක්‍රිකට් වලට එහා ගිය මගේ වගකීම ඉෂ්ට කරන්න. ඒ නිසා මම තීන්දුව කරා මේ ක්‍රිකට් පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ නිලවරණයට ඉදිරිපත් නොවී සිට මගේ දේශපාලන ධාරාවේ වගකීම මේ රට වෙනුවෙන් ඉෂ්ට කරන්න.
Meanwhile, submissions for nominations for the upcoming SLC elections concluded at 3 p.m. today. Mohan De Silva, K. Madivanan, Shami De Silva and Jayant Dharmadasa have been nominated for the post of president of the country's cricket governing body. Objections over the nominations can be handed over until the end of this month. The election is scheduled to be held on the 6th of January 2019.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Tour de France winner Geraint Thomas has been voted BBC Sports Personality of the Year 2018. The Team Sky rider, 32 years old, became only the third Briton to win the race after Sir Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome.
The Tour de France champion Geraint Thomas rode a wave of public support to become the BBC Sports Personality of the Year and continue cycling's recent dominance of the prize. In a public vote, Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton finished second, while footballer Harry Kane was third.
She is the speed queen of athletics.
The other sports personalities shortlisted for the award were triple European sprint champion Dina Asher-Smith, English cricket's record test wicket taker James Anderson, and double Olympic skeleton champion Lizzie Arnold.
Catriona Gray from the Philippines claimed the 2018 Miss Universe crown yesterday, beating contestants from 93 other countries. The 24-year-old Filipino-Australian pipped a South African Demi Neil Peters for the top spot, becoming the fourth Filipina to bring home the coveted title. Miss Venezuela Stephanie Gutierrez rounded out the top three at the contest in Bangkok, Thailand.
One of the most coveted shows in the pageant world, Miss Universe 2018, began with US singer Neo performing his hit, Nights Like This. American comedian and television personality Steve Harvey was the host of the night.
Now, from one host to another, do you have any tips for me?
Well, I think you're doing good. The outfit is fine. The smile is always great. But I have to give you one advice, just for the future, just in case. Come closer because I don't want everyone to hear. Yeah. If they ever give you like a really, really, really important envelope, try to read carefully, okay?
Y'all just won't let it go, huh?
The 67th Miss Universe competition took place in Thailand's capital city of Bangkok for the third time. This year's pageant saw the first ever transgender contestant, Miss Spain. Angela Ponce was born anatomically male but has since transitioned to being female. The evening gown portion of the competition lit up the stage, and Gray was ecstatic as she walked in a dazzling red gown.
With such ease, but she knows exactly what she's doing. Now that dress is quite daring and different. I love the color. I love her smile. She has a sultry, sultry walk.
Vietnam made it to the top 5 alongside Philippines, Puerto Rico, South Africa and Venezuela.
Women will become our next Miss Universe.
Facing the final question round, Gray was asked about the legalization of marijuana.
Canada recently joined Uruguay as the second nation in the world to make marijuana legal. What is your opinion on the legalization of marijuana?
I'm for it being used in a medical use, but not so for recreational use. Because I think if people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation. Thank you.
Then came the most awaited moment of the evening, the crowning of the Miss Universe.
The new Miss Universe is
Miss Universe 2017 Demi Neil Peters of South Africa crowned her successor.
Take your first walk as Miss Universe.
Moving on to our weather forecast for the next 24 hours now. Temperatures are to vary between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius, with mainly fair weather to be expected over the island. There is a slight possibility for ground frost in some places in the Nuwara district during the early hours of the morning. Misty conditions can also be expected at some places in the island during the morning hours. Up next is your City by City forecast. And that is all we have from First at 9 for tonight. But before we go, we'd like to take you to the ancient Buddhist forest monastery named Vessagiri in Anuradhapura. It is located about half a mile south of Visurumuniya among famous Anuradhapura ancient ruins. Established during the reign of King Devanampiya in the 3rd century BC, the site was expanded during the reign of King Kashyapa to become home to about 500 monks. We hope you enjoy these visuals and have a pleasant evening.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.